Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rama. If you are watching me for the first time, I'm a Nigerian designer based here in Lagos. So guys, I'm so sorry that it's not that I'm posted the second part of video. I already have the video. I have drafted the pattern in my previous video. Make sure you went ahead and watch it if you haven't watched it. So guys, today's tutorial we are only showing the patterns. So I have my Ankara, my lining, interfacing. I also have holding my region bone, and I'm using the bias to decorate the corset. So guys, I went ahead, I cutted all the fabric, I cutted the lining and the fabric also. I cut two of each, and I also cut my interfacing. So I'm gumming it with the lining to give it a structure. So I went ahead, I used my iron to gum the interfacing to the lining. So the next thing that I did is joining my cup together, the fabric. So I'm just removing the pin that I'm used to pin it together with the pattern paper. So I'm placing it together. I also did it to the second part. So I will just go ahead and join it together. So I've joined it together now. So I'm just notching it to make it relax when I iron the corsets. So I went ahead and press open it with the iron. You can see how it is. So the next thing to do is I cutted the wording. I don't know what you guys call it in your area. We call it wording here. So I cutted it. I only had the sewing allowance to that side. The place I'm joining it together, I didn't have the sewing allowance to it, so just only the place that you see that I had sewing allowance to it, because I don't have a zigzag sewing machine. I only have the straight sewing machine. So I went ahead and join it together. So I'm notching it now to make it very relaxed. So you can see how it is. So after that, I placed my fabric on top of it. And I also did it to the second part also. So after that, I took it to go and iron it because the body have a gummy face. So is the gummy face that's fixing the fabric. So I use my iron to gum it. I use my iron to gum it with the fabric. So after that, I want to mark where my ribbon will be. So I measure 3.5. So I mark it. So I roll it out to the other side of the corset. And make sure when doing so your hand is straight. The reason why I'm cleaning it because it's not straight. So I'm remeasuring it to make sure it's accurate. I used 3.5. So I'm rolling it to the other side. Also mark the center. I'm placing the bias there, so I cut it with my scissors. So do it to the other side also. So I'm taking it to the machine. So guys, after putting the bias, this as it look. You can also put your bra cup if you want, but I'm okay with this. So the next thing is to join the remaining pieces, the front pieces together. So I'm placing the front, the center front and the side front together. Right side facing the right side. So I'm taking it to the machine to go and sew it together. So after sewing it together, this how it look, and also went ahead and press open it with iron. So the next thing that I did is placing where my ribbon is going to be. So after that, you see I also placed to the other side also. So the next thing that I did is putting my original bone inside the ribbon that I placed it on top of the fabric. And make sure when concealing your original bone, you leave half an inch on up and down because of the sewing. So I'm also placing it to the remaining ribbon that I placed on top of the Ankara fabric. So after that, I give it a good press iron, and you see how well laid it is, how flat it is. So the next thing that I did is placing my bra cup. So I went ahead and used my machine to join the bra cup to the down parts of it, and make sure there's a joining here. Make sure you take your time when doing so because it's really tricky. And after doing that, after doing so, make sure you use your scissors to notch that side to make it well relaxed. And give it a good press iron. You see how it is. If it not look closer, you not know that there's joining there. So the next thing that I did is the back. So I'm marking where my loop is going to be. I measure 2 inches. You can see what I'm doing is 2 inches. So I measure it. And for the rope, I use bias for it. I just fold it into two. I fold it together and sew it. So I'm using 2 inches for the length of the loop. So after that, I'm placing my lining to it. I went ahead and also did the second part also. So I went ahead and joined my lining also. You can also see the side when this joining is. You see how well and neat it is. So I'm placing my back to the front. You see without the lining there. So I went ahead and joined my side seam together. The next thing I did is placing my front lining to the fabric so that I will be able to turn in the neckline. After that, after I join it, when I'm notching it, make sure you notch it also to make it well relaxed. The next thing that I did is join the lining together also. The side. because I'm sewing in my seam allowance and I'm sewing in my sewing allowance. So after that, I went ahead and joined my shoulder together, putting the front shoulder in between the lining and the fabric of the back. I also did it to the second part also. I used my pin to pin it together, so I went ahead and joined the shoulder together. So after that, this is how it look. So when I tested before fixing this, I realized that the armhole is too tight. So I reshaped my armhole. I measured 8 inches from the shoulder to the armhole. So I reshaped the armhole. And you see what I'm doing. If you don't understand what I'm doing, just look at it very, you understand it. So the next thing that I did is fix my sleeve. So I'm fixing my sleeve to the armhole. So this is the outcome of it. I've joined it to the armhole. So the next thing I did, cut my rope. So I measure 1 inches. I fold it into two and use my machine to join it together. So after joining it together, this is how it is. So I'm just fixing it to the loop at the back. So guys, after fixing the loop at the back, this is the final look of it. So this will be the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed my video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like my video, subscribe guys, please subscribe. You can see that I'm new here and really need your subscription. Please guys, subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed my video, and see you guys in my next video.